Here we go. Pallavi, I will make you the host of this session now. That be okay? Here we go.
Thank you, Sunilji.
Thank you. Go ahead. Radhe Radhe. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe, Nitinji, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madan Bhai, for walking us through with the steps. I think it helps a lot, one by one, when you simplify how easy it is to set up a fundraiser and be part of this wonderful campaign that we have to express our gratitude and help out for a noble cause. Before we set further, we have a nice surprise for you. Mohit is going to recite something for us, just to sweeten what we have just seen, provide you a kind of a context around what we are trying to do here. He has penned down some lines, beautiful lines, and it encapsulates the message and the benefits that are going to come out of this wonderful campaign. So Mohit, over to you. Let's spend a few minutes on that before we start off with our session. So over to you, Mohit. And thank you for joining us, by the way. Yes, I've unmuted you.
There we go. Perfect. Radhe Radhe, can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Fantastic. Nitin Bhai, would you make me co-host? Because I can visually share what I'm going to read. That way, if there's a...
I can.
Okay.
Sure.
You're
All right, you're co-host now.
Okay, let me give this a shot. Okay, you can see this?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. So this will just take a few minutes. By no means am I a poet of any sort, but ever since I've followed Swamiji, something happens every now and then, and I've realized I like playing with words. So this came out of the fact that this initiative was happening, and Anurma, Nitinji's wife, she reached out to me and said, "Hey, can you do something?" And it just came out. So hopefully this
Mohit, giving you a quick introduction, he does the Bhagavad Gita for kids, and he's our Archety's Shakespeare. So go ahead.
No pressure.
No pressure.
But by the way, and actually, I was going to introduce that fact real quickly. So just like Madanji talked about, I am also a volunteer and I teach the Bhagavad Gita kids class. Some of you on this call have your children entrusted to me on Friday evenings. We have a similar page like Madanji talked about, and I think Nitin Bhai has for this class. So all of this is to really go for that great cause that Swamiji is leading us down. So let's read this together. I will read it slowly so that it sort of sinks in, but here goes. We have the opportunity of a lifetime. Listen carefully, it's something sublime. Seva like this is very rare. It doesn't come without prayer. Around the world, something big is transpiring. Make no doubt, it's awe-inspiring. A huge project is underway in Banara, India, on full display. A place of learning and much promise. A spiritual juggernaut is coming upon us. Vedic sciences, yoga, and more, it's all happening to change your core. You might think you're fit and fine. That's the beauty of the design. Maya simply thickens the plot. Remember, it means that which is not. And the it I'm referring to is the Maya, of course. Doing its duty by stirring the pot, who we are is what we forgot. Wake up now, arise and awake. It's not the time to make a mistake. Maharaji's mission, expanding and growing. Swamiji's vision and grace flowing. It's so many things all at once. It'll help everyone on multiple fronts. JKO's goal is to serve humankind. The end game is to purify our mind. Remember what this is all about. Radha Krishna are the only way out. Do your seva and spread the news, share this post, and increase those views. We plan to put this on some sort of post soon here. All donations will be matched. Nanban will double them, no strings attached. And if you don't know, that's Nanban's tagline, no strings attached. $5 million is the goal to hit. Share, like, and comment, donate, and commit. That's it. Short and simple.
So you are not only Shakespeare, but Williams Wordsworth as well. I must say that. Beautiful, heartfelt message. Thank you, Mohit, for your creativity and capturing it so beautifully. I think it touches the heart the way you have penned it out. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, it's amazing to be a part of this and Swamiji's mission and Maharaji's mission in general. And hopefully this inspires some of you to take action. I tell you, I've tried poetry in the past, even as I've been part of JK Yog. It doesn't work for anything other than a JK Yog initiative. But there you go. Thank you, Nitin Bhai, for having me on the call.
Pleasure, and thank you for taking out time for our session. And
of course,
like I said, he does Bhagavad Gita for kids. If you have young kids, do reach out. I can definitely direct all of you to him. And he's a wonderful instructor and a great poet, as you can see as well. So thank you, Mohit Bhai, again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So welcome, everybody. I have posted the link if you want to join our team, or if you want to open up an independent fundraiser, that's fine too. It's your choice, or any other team. But do take a look. There's an opportunity to do it collectively, and for the innumerable graces that we have received from God and Guru, it's our way of returning it back in our little capacities. It's priceless, but whatever little we can do. So welcome everybody for today's edition of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita session. A very warm welcome to all of you. Let me share my screen, and today finally we will move past the topic of surrender and get into something more interesting, which comes as natural to us as breathing, which is our mind getting attracted to the world, is what we are going to talk about today. So let me share my screen and we'll get started today or today's session. So I hope you're able to see my screen. We'll try to budget our time. I know we have 30 minutes, but we'll see how far we go. Maybe we'll do a few recitations today and then get to the topic itself. Let's get started. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Radhe Radhe, morning, good evening, everyone. So like I said, today we are going to touch upon a topic. Let's get started. We'll pick up a few hats, not many today, to get the topic or discussion going. Nasti buddhir yuktasya na cha yuktasya bhavana na cha bhavayata shanti ashantasya kuta sukham. Okay, we can pick up a few hands.
Samji, Radhe Radhe.
Top
Yeah.
three hands and then get this discussion going.
Nasti buddhirayuktasya na cha yuktasya bhavana na cha bhavayata shanti rasa ashantasya kuta sukham.
Very nice, Samji. Radhe Radhe.
Rameshji, Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, Rameshji.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. Nasti buddhirayuktasya na cha yuktasya bhavana na cha bhavayata shantihi ashantasya kuta sukham.
Wonderful, Rameshji. Okay, maybe two more hands.
Yes, Shamji, Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Shamji.
Nasti buddhirayuktasya na cha yuktasya bhavana न चा भावयत शांतिर अशांतस्य कुतः सुखम. राधे
Very
राधे.
nice. Thank you, Shyamji.
Aparna ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
राधे राधे. नास्ति बुद्धिरयुक्तस्य न चायुक्तस्य भावना न चाभावयतः शान्तिर् अशान्तस्य कुतः सुखम्.
Thank you, Aparnaji. Radhe Radhe. So sorry, we'll just restrict it to few hands today because we have content to cover and we have little time today. So we'll probably give you first preference tomorrow. So let's get started now. So in this shloka, Lord Krishna is telling Arjun, but an undisciplined person who has not controlled the mind and senses can neither have a resolute intellect nor steady contemplation on God. For one who never unites the mind with God, there is no peace. And how can one who lacks peace be happy? Let's get deeper into this topic. So today, like I said, we are going to talk about this concept. Have you ever wondered why, our mind is naturally and spontaneously in love with the world and the world-related subjects? It happens naturally, and you have to put in an effort actually to put it in other direction. A couple of days back, I experienced an incident. I tripped while playing table tennis, and the first thought that came to my mind when that pain happened, it was a little painful, was that have I increased my number of bones, from 206 to 207 or 208? And the only way you can increase your bone is if you have split it into 2 or 3, right? Not God. So that is what happens basically when you are in pain, and when the death happens, it's very painful. I was wondering after a while, after 5 minutes, I was wondering, what? God didn't come to my mind. The only thing I was worried about, have I broken another bone? But it doesn't happen. Naturally, our mind goes there. And it takes a lot of practice. That is why I say the God realization is not something that can be achieved at the time of death. It can be achieved prior to your death, while you are living and while you are having a conscious mind. Because when your mind is in so much of pain, it's like that parrot, right? The parrot can keep on reciting anything. But when you squeeze its throat, what will come out of it? Stir, right? That voice will come out. Same thing happens when we die. Actually, at that moment, the predominant thought, or however we have led our life predominantly, that object of our attraction, whatever attracted us or we were attached to, will come out the first. It's just like if you open up, let's say you are in a farmhouse and there are different animals, and all of a sudden you open up the gate. Which animal would come out the first? The most strongest one, probably the bull. And that bull is in our life, is where we have put our thoughts, our mind to something in the world, then that thought will come. That is typically how it goes. Yes, Cram CG, you had a question? Or is it something? You are unmuted. Okay, we're not able to hear you. Maybe you can reserve your question towards the end in that case.
Yeah, can't hear you.
Or you
Chandru
can
ji.
type it in the meantime. So the shloka says, no God and no peace. And no God, no peace. As simple as that. Okay, you can remember it. No matter what you do, whatever endeavors you do, you cannot, without knowing God or bringing God into the mix, there's absolutely no way you can actually get closer to joy, peace, all the stuff that our soul is craving for. See, can you watch a television? Can you hear a television through your eyes? If you could, then it would have been great. Similarly, what our soul is craving, it cannot be achieved without knowing God. If you don't bring God into the mix, it's just not possible. It's like trying to hear television through your eyes, or trying to watch television using your ears. Not possible, because our soul is divine, and what we are trying to do here is through our body and mind and senses, which is material. Now, a person who has not learned to discipline the mind and senses can neither meditate upon God nor experience his divine bliss. So the key here is to discipline the mind and senses. And unless it gets a higher taste, it is not going to let go of the current taste, the lower taste. and it will keep hankering for the material. Happiness is what scriptures are telling, and that is the trap we all have fallen into, fortunately or unfortunately, not fortunately at all, right? So the higher taste is something that has to be experienced so that we can start leaving the lower taste. That's what we are going to devote our time on today, tomorrow, and maybe a couple of more sessions as well. The formula that Lord Krishna is going to give us. Now let's look at it through an analogy. You see a flower and then you see a bee on top of it. Now what happens is, it's interesting, right? Our scriptures give a very nice analogies. Now, like the bee, it finds impossible to renounce the nectar of the flower. So what happens? It is enjoying this nectar. There's a Sanskrit verse around it. I'm not going to attempt it. It relates to this bee story. Now, there is no harm in rejoicing this nectar, you may say that. But let's see what happens because of that. Now, what happens is, here is, this thing is happening. It's relishing this nectar. Then what happens? It's on the lotus. Now, sun starts to set. And what happens? We know, right? The nature, the way it is designed, it's time to close the shop. Even humans do that, shopkeepers do that, and nature does the same. So the petals, they begin to shut down. It's time to shut down. But the bee thinks, let me have one more dip into this nectar. It is so yummy. And there is still some time. It's seeing, it's closing out, but it's saying, okay, let me have a little bit more while I can. And what happens in the process? So what happens, the analogy here illustrates this point that similar to this bee, we are seeing the old age is coming. And that story of that man who is hung upside down and black and white rats are pushing black and white rats at every day and every night, right? Every day is like, or every day when we wake up, we will never be as old as we have ever been, and we'll never be as young as we'll ever be, kind of a deal, right? Every day. So we are gradually getting pushed towards the old age. But like the bee, we came engrossed in enjoying the worldly pleasures. That process continues, that small drip of honey that is falling down. And what happens then? In the meantime, it became dark and the lotus flower, it closed. And as you can see, the bee got trapped. And then what happens after it gets trapped? It thinks, let me remain inside my beloved flower for tonight, and tomorrow morning when the petals are going to open up, I'm going to escape or get out of it. Now this bee has the power to cut through the wood. It can actually cut through the wood. But because of its attachment to the sense object, the nectar that it was enjoying, it gets stuck under the soft petals. That illusion is there. That fascination or captivation of its senses is so strong that it is not even attempting to cut through this flower. And in the process, what happens? After a while, an elephant comes. Elephant is hungry, right? We know how much hunger it has. It broke the lotus stem, swallowed it, and the bee went into the stomach of the elephant. Now the bee is thinking, my beloved lotus is going somewhere and I'm happily going with it. It died shortly afterwards. Okay, that's the story of our life. Right? Enjoy all the little things that we do, pay EMIs, and one day finally depart. And that is usually the story of our life, right? We keep on craving for the sense objects and are not able to go beyond that. Now let's see what further it says. So it says humans also, they remain engrossed in these senses. And the saints have been telling one after another that instead, give your senses a better taste, dovetail it towards God. You will get a better taste. It's a promise that they are giving. But we are not willing to accept that, because that first step, shaking off that inertia itself is so big. People think, at least I'm seeing that nectar or mellow in the worldly things. What if there is boredom and nothing when I start doing bhajan, kirtan and all the stuff that saints are talking about? It's an retirement age plan. Why to even take a chance early on in life? What if I miss out on greater fun, right? That thing happens. So Lord Krishna says those who refuse to discipline their senses and engage in devotion continue to be rocked by the threefold miseries of Maya. What are the threefold? Do we know that? Threefold miseries are Adhyatmik, Adhidevik, and Adibhautik. These three miseries nobody can escape. Adhyatmik means your mind will torment you from time to time. It will keep tormenting you. We all know that. Second is the ones that other people bring upon you, right? And then the third is the natural calamities that happen. Nobody can escape these calamities, threefold miseries of Maya. Nobody has immunity to that at all. And in the cycle of happiness and distress, why it happens? It happens when your senses come in contact with sense objects, which has been explained in chapter 2 beautifully by Lord Krishna, that it generates, when it comes in contact with sense objects, it generates fleeting feelings, temporary feelings. Okay, and then we get hung up to that, and the senses are going after its subjects because mind is telling it to do that. Mind is saying, go for it, because that is where your happiness is, because it is considering itself as a body, mind, sense complex. So say, go for it. Okay. But there is a fundamental reason for that. I'll get to that. And then because the mind is, or intellect is acting in accordance with the knowledge that is activated in it. So the knowledge says, go for it. This is where your happiness lies. If you have ice cream, definitely have fun, right? God's bliss, in order to get there, of course, a bit of a process and some kind of a discipline is needed to begin with. But then the other thing is very ready-made, instant. And we go for that, we settle for that, right? Shreyas praise kind of a thing, short-term happiness without even thinking the big picture around it. So Lord Krishna is saying this game that you have been playing since time immemorial is not something which is actually serving your spiritual journey. You are simply catering to your senses. It is taking you further and further, deeper into darkness, mode of darkness, abyss of darkness. Now, what to do basically, and why do our mind and senses tell us to go towards the world is what we are going to discuss about. Now, irresolute intellect is the cause for it. Irresolute means multi-branched. It has opened up too many branches of knowledge, things, hankerings, cravings, too many agendas. It is not resolute. Maybe this, maybe not this, maybe that, maybe not that, because our intellect also needs a bit of a convincing, and it doesn't get convinced so easily, right? It has a false pride that I know it all. It's almost like when God creates us, Brahmaji says in everybody's ear, you are the smartest. You have cracked it all, okay? And we take it too seriously and don't even listen to scriptures and saints. And for our entire life, we are too busy hanging on to our unworthiness, which makes us keep on repeating in this world. That is essentially the quick story of our life, right? Ramdas, that guy who went to Neem Karoli Baba, in his autobiography, he said the biggest problem in this world is that we are too busy hanging on to our unworthiness, thinking ourselves as a big deal. So the irresolute intellect, that leads to this mind and senses where you just have two options. If you look at it, your mind, you can either have God in it or world in it. You cannot have both coexist. And we know it through our experiences that material desires is like an itch, eczema. The more we indulge in them, the worse they become. Has anybody satiated their desire by fulfilling them? Not possible. Scriptures say, can you extinguish a fire by putting ghee into it or gasoline into it? You cannot. So similarly, trying to satiate our desires by feeding our senses, the object of its interest, will not satiate it. You keep on trying it for the rest of your life, it will not happen. Scriptures are telling us very, very clearly. And you cannot gain that perfect happiness that you are seeking. Perfect happiness. Nobody can claim to be happy in material world because there is no happiness. Our scriptures are telling us very clearly on that. On the contrary, if you think about God, that is where the eternal happiness or perfect happiness, peace, love, joy, all the things that you're looking for. Now look at this guy, how much resolute his intellect is. He said, you can read through it. I was too busy posting a bit about on the internet. So basically with material things, you cannot really extract happiness. Your mind will be all over the place. You may be thinking, okay, this is not where the happiness is. This is where it is. And that story basically continues across lifetimes. Moving further, now taking away from the world alone is not enough. It will come back again to the world. Now the reason for that is, see, let's look at the reason for it. Why does it happen? Okay, let me pull it up. Why is our mind spontaneously in love with the world? It takes effort for us to bring it to God, but for world, it doesn't take too much of effort. If you tell somebody, you know what, that neighbor's daughter, yeah, tell me what, she started attending satsangs. How boring. If you had given them some scoop, you know what, she started going around or she flirted with somebody, your mind would have immediately gotten stimulated, right? Okay, really, what happened? Tell me the scoop around it. So our mind loves these kind of things, and there is a reason for that. What is the reason? See, when you go out to a different country or to an alien place, the first thing that you look out for is company. Who's like me? Okay, so if you are in, let's say, in Iceland, you would even probably befriend a Pakistani, even though you may have enmity towards them because of the cricket match or the border fights, because he's looking a little bit like you, right? If you're, let's say, you're stuck in some kind of a Sahara desert, you'll befriend them because he looks a little bit like you. But if you're at a place, the next thing you would look for, okay, is there any Indian here? And if you have a lot of Indians, you will look for, okay, is there any North Indian or South Indian here? And then within that also, if is there anybody from Patel Nagar or GK, they will ask for that also. So we have a tendency to look for things which are of our own kind, which has some kind of a resemblance to us, or sajatiya sambandh. Sajatiya means which is cut from the same cloth. So that happens very naturally. We all know that, even in the material world. Same thing happens here as well. So our mind is made up of material energy of God, and the world is made up of material energy. So it has an automatic attraction, gravitation, or some kind of an affinity towards it. So it loves to gossip. It loves to find some material rest. Spiritual rest, you have to force feed it. But material rest, it will automatically get. You don't have to tell it. You just get it. So the spiritual rest, if you look at it here, now let's look at some of the points here. Again, our mind has a practice of our endless lifetime also to indulge in these kind of things. To think about world, to contemplate about world, to think that there is happiness in the world. So if you are trying to, so our mind is a serial offender. So if you're trying to rehabilitate a drug addict or a serial offender, you can't expect it to happen overnight. It will not happen like a unit step function. Today you decide, no, I will not gossip, or I'll not find rust in all the things, which are not spiritually uplifting, or I will try to force my mind into God. It will not just happen like that. It will rebel. It will say, no, it is boring. I need something interesting. I'm not finding this interesting. This is how your mind will complain. It will become a rebel. And you'll say, bahut ho gaya, enough of this. My spiritual quota I have already completed for the rest of my life and rest of the year. Now I deserve some good movie or some outing. So your mind will tell you that, because it likes material rest because of its practice across lifetimes. It's like telling a chain smoker, quit smoking. Will it do that? No. But you tell it, okay, at least have one cigarette a day, he may listen to you. That is how our mind does as well. But the beauty of spiritual path is that you force feed it. Okay, it's like when you are suffering from jaundice, somebody gives you sugarcane juice. It will seem bitter. You will say, no, it doesn't taste good. Why? Because the sugarcane juice is bitter? No, because your tongue has a defect because of jaundice. But when you keep drinking that sugarcane juice, two things will happen. First, your jaundice will get cured. Second, it will come, you start tasting it as it is originally meant to be tasted, which is sweet. So you keep force feeding yourself, attend satsangs, start reciting God's name when you are, remembering God, when you have spaces or blanks in your day. Attend satsang, listen to something good, have a good sang. People who take your mind to sang, telling, gossiping, or looking for your shoulder to just dump what they have to say. Put it in perspective and see how things start changing. Your rus, when you start getting a higher uplifting rus, you'll automatically start losing interest in that. And that is essentially what Lord Krishna is telling us, to tame or discipline our mind and senses through some practices. Now, otherwise, it will keep on taking you to places which we know where they take us, right? So it is said that No matter how much external material we get, we are still not get what we are looking for. And trying to fulfill desire, body became old, but the desire remained young. That is how this goes. Desire will never, if you ask somebody who's 105 or 110 years old, have you had enough in life? He said, oh, you know what? Only if I had seen the marriage of my grandson's son, I would have been happy. And people would have said, yeah, that would have been, nobody would be satisfied no matter what happens. And that is how our desire will remain young regardless of how old we are. Right? You see, go look at the families, they say that, okay, somebody departed, they were 100 plus. Only, pote ki shadi dekh jate, so it would have been nice. What kind of a desire, So that is how our desires go. God says it will never get satiated. You rather have a better game plan in life. Then simply catering to your desires and trying to satiate it through your senses, which are actually nonsenses. Okay. So our sense is actually completely nonsense because it is leading us to things and objects which are not truly adding value to our spiritual assets that we need to inculcate or acquire just by virtue of being born as a human. Okay, with that, I will stop for a bit. I know I had a lot to cover in a short time today. Hopefully I didn't bore you out or overwhelm you. Yesterday's session I have already uploaded because you wanted to see that. So do take a look at that. But any questions before, or I want to show you something else as well, maybe not. But let's open it up for question and few announcements that we have to make. I know I covered a lot in quick time today. So happy to take any questions that you may have.
Nitinji, I see Chandruji's hand raised for quite some time. So
yes,
I can see.
Chandruji.
Radhe
Radhe Chandruji, please go ahead.
Radhe, it was for the reading of the shloka, sorry. But the
Okay.
time lapsed up, so that's all right, no problem. Thank you.
If you want to do that, you can quickly do that, Chanduji. I mean, it will be my pleasure for you to.
Next time I raise my hand as soon as possible.
No
I'll be
worries,
the first one.
No worries, no worries. Tomorrow we'll anyway cover. Today we couldn't do justice to it. I covered it very, very, very quickly, but I'll pick up this topic in a little more detail tomorrow by bringing in some more facets and insights into it. Thank you so much, Chandruji. Yes, Shyamji.
Yes, Shyamji. Radhe Radhe.
मैं राधे राधे मैं ये जो हम सब ज्ञान समझ रहे हैं पढ़ रहे हैं दिस इज ऑल बिकॉज वी आर इन दिस सेशन हम गीता पढ़ रहे हैं बट व्हाट अबाउट पीपल हु हैव नो क्लू नो आइडिया कि व्हाट इज ऑल अबाउट वेरी विल द सेंसेस लीड देम उनका क्या एट टाइम्स आई फील आई ट्राई टू टेल देम और कन्विंस देम और नो परसुएड देम कि लेट्स स्टार्ट गीता ऑल दोस थिंग्स बट दे आर जस्ट चक इट अवे यार बकवास फालतू नॉनसेंस टाइम नहीं है सुबह है देर है so how does it go about them? Is it okay for them? Are they meant to be the way they are, or are we meant the way we have to be?
Okay, so let me answer it. I get it. It's a very valid question. So let me put it this way. I asked this question to Swamiji once. I said, Swamiji, you meet so many people around in this world. Don't you feel, pitiable towards them that what kind of things are they doing? They are lost and this wealth of information, knowledge available for them to tap into to become happy and joyous, which everybody wants to be. So he said, this is not how you look at it. Everybody is perfectly situated where they need to be. They will not listen to you until they have learned their lessons. So they are perfectly situated. And somebody asked Buddha, why are you the way you are? And Buddha said, how are you the way you are? And Buddha responded, 50 lifetimes back, I was just like you. So we need to give people, maybe food for thought, but if you think they will transform just by listening to you, it will not happen. If they are ready for it, it will happen just like that. It will like fish taking to water. If they are not ready for it, you can take them to water, they will still not drink. And that is the lesson they have to learn at their own pace. Right? Not everybody is ready for every message. So maybe they have to exhaust certain vasanas in this world before they are ready for the next message. So if that was the case, I will ask you one question. Just by listening one lecture from Swamiji, have you changed? No, right? So how can we expect people to change by our words because we are telling them. So everybody to its own, but at the same time, we should try to give them food for thought. Maybe ask open questions to them, thought-provoking questions to them, and let them think for themselves. But if we tell them, you know what, you're wasting your life, what are you doing? Read Bhagavad Gita, otherwise not listen. They'll become defensive, maybe even negative about God and these topics. So everybody learns
At times, you feel sad for them also at times because
yeah, that's not the right. I get it. I understand. See, when you feel something good, you are very eager to share it with your near and dear ones, right? But if they are not ready, I know it is unfortunate, but if beyond a point, you have to make peace with it. I've gone through the same journey, telling people left, right, and center until they said this guy is a nutcase. Anytime I'll seek out reasons and discussions around it. Now I've given it up. Now I just know what to talk. So yeah, I get your point, but we have to.
so it's okay to be the way you are. It's okay the way the people are. It's perfectly fine.
Sorry.
Is that so?
Sorry,
Is it okay the way the people are? Is it okay the way we are? It's perfectly fine. What happened is for good.
We are perfectly situated where we need to be because we'll learn our lessons and the way we basically it is designed for us. Nobody can if we actually exert ourselves through our free will, yes, we can leapfrog our spiritual journey, but we will not know who's ready for it and who's not. We can try it, and then after a while we'll get an idea or some kind of through our experience, we'll understand, how much of message another person is ready for that we can tell them, and then not give them unsolicited advice. Beyond a point, you figure it out. But
is it okay to feel at times when you want to give something and you feel they don't take it? It's okay to feel that it's okay, it's their life. Whatever, let them be the way they are. Okay.
You still approach it with compassion. It's not like Arya Par.
Okay.
You still approach it with compassion, but have an understanding, humility that everybody has their own journey and it is something beyond my control. Okay, so we should not get frustrated or bitter about it. That's a real way of attitude.
Thank you so much.
Radhe.
No worries.
Yeah, very interestingly, Samji also mentions that let us change ourselves first before thinking too much about others.
Very true. We have to put our oxygen mask before we try to save others. That is another trap we fall into when we try to help people out where we have not brought in that transformation as yet, right? Why would people listen? Very true. In fact, through our actions, they may get inspired that, what, something is working for this person that I'm not able to crack. Why is this person so calm and happy? And why, I'm always anxious? Then that may force them to start doing things that you are doing. But just by our words, nobody changes.
Very true. Yeah, thank you, Nitinji.
Okay, quite a few hands. Let's hear from.
Please go.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe Nitinji and Radhe Radhe everyone. As usual, beautiful topic. And Nitinji, you explained everything, like I'm trying to say something, you're saying it. So to Shyamji's question, if we try to change someone, that is not the wisest thing ever, right? That is putting it mildly. I would say it is really foolish to change anyone because you will not be able to change anyone. So yeah, feel sorry for them. We kind of try to give that knowledge. They won't take it. At the time when they are ready for it, they will come to it. Again, as Nitinji said, you try to be a good example. You be happy. People say, hey, this guy is being happy. What the heck, I have to find out what the secret is, right? And they might do it. The only time when I've seen that there is some kind of effect which has been is when mothers can kind of inculcate these very good habits in kids. So this is something which I have seen in my case as well as in many other cases where, mom from the childhood kind of inculcate these good things, which the people might still forget and do other things, but these things will still be in their mind. So it'll be easier for them to come back into the spiritual fold. So those are my 2 cents. Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Beautiful point, Kumarji. Very true, Radhe Radhe. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, quite a few hands today.
Yeah, Sunita ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Sunita ji.
Radhe Radhe, Nitinji. In this regard, I just remember a beautiful saying, beautiful quote that what you are speaks so loud that I cannot hear what you say.
Can
Have
you repeat that?
What you are speaks
Yes.
so loud that I cannot hear what you say.
Beautiful.
So that's why we need to work upon ourselves first. What we do, that is our lacuna, that what we do, if we read 2-3 chapters of Bhagavad Gita and 2-3 times of meditation, and we start becoming guru of everyone, and we taunt everyone that, oh, why are you not reading Bhagavad Gita? This is that, that. This is not going to work. First, we have to work on upon ourselves, and sometimes and at times a point come that even if your presence may change someone else, so abruptly we should not become a guru or someone else, but yeah, we can suggest politely, humbly that, okay, if you are suffering this and that, maybe just come and read Bhagavad Gita, or you may get your answers. And even if you are not ready, then absolutely it's okay. Just we can pray for themselves every day. God, please give them. If we have truly if we have compassion for others or someone, then we can pray in front of God that God, please give them, understanding,
Beautiful.
have mercy upon them, so that they can change, or someday they will come to you. Because personally, I'm not eligible enough to change themselves, because even I'm not able to changing myself.
Right.
So it is not possible for us. So we can pray for them. So abruptly we
Beautiful.
must not be a guru or something like that.
True. And also, when we get bitter or we think, another trap that we can fall into is a sense of pride that I am better or I am doing something better than them. That is also that needs to be watched against. That pride can actually be counterproductive for our own spiritual journey. Who are we basically? We are, see, with us, it's like in Hindi, they say, 19-20 ka difference. Okay, we are all sailing in the same boat. If we were truly Mahatmas, okay, some of us might be, I'm just talking about myself, then we wouldn't be here in Mrityu to begin with.
But I'm not.
Okay, no, I'm just, yeah. So some of us might be here, okay? I'm putting a disclaimer here. Because it's like we are in a conditioned state. It is a reformatory or a jailhouse of God. If we were truly good, we wouldn't be here to begin with. And now the whole fight is going on inside the jailhouse. You know what? I'm better than you. Your crime was higher than mine, or my crime was lower than yours, or I am better than you, although we are all caddies in the same jailhouse. So we might be going for, and the person whom we think is far behind or is not doing anything spiritually, they may be very far ahead in the trajectory. You never know, the day it will click to them, they will just take, like a spacecraft goes whizzing past you. So we really can't judge anybody around that sense, right? Anything can happen to anybody. Now, if you think about Ratnakar, maybe I should give that example or not. He used to kill people for a living. And then on his guru's behest, just by saying Mara Mara, he transformed his life and he became Trikaldarshi. How many of us can become Trikaldarshi after being a sinner? Right? So anybody can take a flight faster than you. We never know at any point in time. So we should focus mostly on our journey and have a good sentiment, helping sentiment towards others without judging them that they are behind or they are not doing it. We never know what stage of spirituality they might be in. And it's important to work on ourselves, because God is not going to give us a gold medal that we tried to reform 3 people. He's going to ask, what did you do on yourself? Tell that first. Where is your report card? He's not going to ask how much report card you improved of others. Just our report card, that will matter. Okay, let's take a couple of, and then we have a few announcements. Pothi Yatra is tomorrow, and we have Gita Summit starting tomorrow. So these are 2 events. Do check it out. It's going to be online as well. We will have our session after the session tomorrow. I think it's going to end by around 8:30, 8:45. So we're going to have a session Friday. I'm not sure. We'll take a call on it tomorrow, but tomorrow's session is on. But do check it out. And any other important announcement? Let's put the link for that.
Yes. Yeah, if I can take a moment,
Sure,
Nitinji,
you can
for
do that,
quick
and then we will
announcement.
take the remaining hands as well.
Yes. So first announcement is about the Pothi Yatra. So please join us with your family to participate in the auspicious ceremony to perform the Gita Puja and Yatra. So what happens in Pothi Yatra and learn more about Pothi Yatra, there is a link and I have posted just now in chat. I can again repost that. This Pothi Yatra is going to be on Thursday, December 1st, 6 p.m. at Radha Krishna Temple.
Okay.
And another announcement is about Swamiji's India tour. Upcoming tour will be in Mumbai, 3 to 4th December, and then Chennai, 7 to 9 December, Hyderabad, 10 to 14 December, Bangalore, 16 to 18 December, and Banara, 25 to 31st December. And we'll keep reminding about the dates in our classes.
Wonderful. So Bombay, if you're in or around Bombay, please go there. RTG, if you're listening, please check it out there, and he may have a solution for your tomato problem, why the prices are going and what we can do in these times to help ourselves stay balanced in spirituality. Do check it out. If you can meet him in Bombay. And Banara Shivir, if you have not signed up, please do check it out in India. It will be a great opportunity to go and attend that Shivir, meet Swamiji in person and catapult your spiritual journey from that sense. Any other thing we wanted to talk about? We have a few more hands, and then we have Sandhya ji who's going to sing bhajan today. Sandhya ji, sorry, yesterday we couldn't take you. You can cough, take water, do whatever you want, but you're going to sing today. Let's take the remaining hands and then prep up for our devotional segment that we are going to have shortly. And we are going to talk about the daily tracker as well today. By the way, a lot of you need to, it's about time you start taking resolves. Don't copy me. I'm not going to put any resolve because I'm good at updating it, not good at, but I'll try to do that. But it's a good way to lock in your commitment around the things that you've been postponing to do. And Urvi is one of those who does that regularly, and she's our inspiration around that, this initiative and how it needs to be done. So do check out that tracker. You can post that link, what you want to do, what you don't want to do, and start locking in your commitment. It's for your own benefit only. Anything more you wanted to add, Sandhya or Urvi, around that? You said yes, then you can
Yes,
go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Yeah, please go ahead,
Yeah,
Sandhya.
yeah, Radhe Radhe. Actually, Urvi has a little presentation to cheer the people who were regularly following.
Yeah, let's do that.
the activity
wow.
tracker.
I can't wait to stop share. Go ahead, Urvi, all yours.
Urvi, you want me to share or will you be able to share? Can we unmute Urvi? Yeah.
Yes. Radhe Radhe,
No,
Urvi ji.
I'll be able to share it. I just want permission.
Yes,
You have
Pallavi,
everybody's permission, and you have been called Urvi ji already. Okay, so go ahead.
please go
Yeah.
ahead. Yeah, you have privileges to share your screen.
So I hope my screen is visible.
Not yet.
Yes, it is now. It looks pretty amazing, colorful, and a lot of claps around.
Yeah, so for the things I will do, Manishji, Swatiji, and Jyotiji are the winners. And for the things I won't do, Kripaji, Manishji, Jyotiji, and Surya Prakashji are the winners. So, like they've made Manishji, if you want to see, he's made 14 attempts, Swatiji 16, Jyotiji 8, and then they failed. Manishji has failed 0 times, Swatiji 1 time, Jyotiji 2 times. So this way, you can also enroll yourselves, add your names to the tracker and write yes if you are able to keep your commitment, and you will have to write failed if you're not able to keep the commitment. And then at the end of the month, we'll get the scores for you and announce the winners again.
And
Wonderful.
just just an update that we are starting it all afresh from December 1st. So no baggage from before. So everybody can participate and we will then track it. So yeah.
You all start with a clean slate now, okay, if that helps. So think of 2 things you want to do, 1 thing, maybe 2 things, whatever, and let's start working on it and inspire each other, okay? But don't look up to me for that, okay? I will also try to participate as best as I can, But let's do all together and support Urvi on this one. Okay.
And I've also shared the link on the portal, like I shared it earlier, and in the CIC groups as well. Yesterday only I shared it, so you can access it from there as well.
Yeah, let's do that. I think it's going to be a good activity we can do, and to inspire each other, and also to transform ourselves as well. You know, all the things that we keep postponing it, let's do that now. Wonderful. Okay, anything else, Sandhya, you wanted to add? Good, thank you, Urvi. Let's give her a clap, all of us, to Urvi, for taking this initiative and inspiring us on a day-to-day basis. Thank you, Urvi.
Thank you, Urvi. Definitely very, very inspiring. Thank you so much.
All right, now we have a couple of hands we can take, and then we can move to our devotional segment.
Shri Ramya ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, Shri Ramya.
Radhe Radhe. Continuing the previous discussion, as everybody said, I really don't know about others, but me, in spite of listening to Bhagavad Gita for 1 year, I still have material desires. And of late, if I have material desires, I'm like, whatever the object of desire is, I'm like thinking, may I use it in service of God? And I'm thinking like it has been a disguise, like an excuse of the mind. Like I'm thinking, may I it be of service to God? And I'm still wishing and I'm still desiring. I don't know if it is right thing or wrong thing to do, but yeah, in spite of being here for 1 year, I can, to be honest, I would say I still have material desires.
That is okay. You are being humble. We all have, Shri Ramya, like I said, it's not a unit step function. Even now, in between my office, I'm clicking on FIFA World Cup to check, the highlights or scores. So we all have our secret stashes. So it will go gradually, it will go. So we don't have to be, so we have to be full of optimism and hope that one day we will not click on that and click on somewhere else, right? So let's focus on things that have worked for us, as opposed to getting dejected by things which we still find faults in. At least you are mindfully approaching it. Previously, you wouldn't even have come to know about it, right? So let's focus on things that have worked. You have come, the version that Sri Ramya started with and the version now, there's going to be a huge delta. Trust me, God and Guru would know that. And that happens. That is the power of reading scriptures of Bhagavad Gita. If you simply keep putting it in your ears, now at the pace at which you want, of course, that is something that is determined by the intensity you bring to it. But at the same time, you are improving. There is a positive transformation that is happening. Okay, so you have to be rest assured that Krishna himself has said that people who simply listen to Bhagavad Gita, it is considered an intellectual sacrifice. You are devoting your time. You are letting those words get into your ear and putting faith in those. That itself will start bringing in transformative effect that is needed for the upliftment of your soul. And you have to have firm faith in that. It's all good. Everything to gain, trust me, in this journey. Nothing to lose. If there is anything to lose, that is anger and temper. No, don't lose temper. Okay, let's move on. Aparna ji is there as well.
Aparna ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Aparna ji.
As we were discussing, we are all work in progress. Sometimes I observe, actually my kids are the ones who have observed changes in me, which is, good changes. But when they are actually angry or anything, I don't do anything. I don't tell them anything. But after the event happens, when I explain it to them that it is how detrimental it is to them more than the other person, it sinks into them. It clicks. So whenever they are in the mode of receiving, I give that kind of advice, and they really feel that it has been helpful. So I take the opportunity and try to help. But I was wondering, wishing and praying for family members to be on the divine path, is that again attachment? It is. I was just thinking, I dearly pray to God every single day that, even when I listen to you or any of the sessions, I keep the volume high and I sit in the middle of the kitchen so that at least something goes on their ears and, they see and they hear the good things. I feel sad that, sometimes they don't pay attention. Even my dog, which is like with me, it is listening to all the sessions and enjoying the divine kirtans. Sometimes I feel bad for the family members. So I was, thinking how we should put this, like, is that again attachment? If we,
it is attachment, but it's a good attachment where you want them to be spiritually, evolved beings, because that's the best gift we can give to our kids, or for that matter, any family member as well. But at the same time, we have to have an humility to understand they have their own sanskars. So we try our best without an expectation. If it is stressing you out, then there is a problem. If you are simply doing it, leaving things to God and trying your best, then it's a good thing. But if it stresses you out or you are losing sleep over it, then there's a problem, because beyond a point, we have to have an understanding their own sanskars would come into play. So you can give them a good foundation and hope for the best, but you cannot really dictate the trajectory of their life. If that was the case, then, why would Prahlad would be, look at Prahlad. He was born to Hiranyakashyap, who would not even take God's name, but he still turned out to be a saint, right? So their own sanskars are there as well. But yes, we can give them a good foundation and hope for the best. And also not think they are mine. If we were to really worry about it, then why not worry about our neighbor's kid also? Why not worry about all the kids of the world in that case? Why limit it to our kids alone, right? That means it's an attachment, mine. So we have to look at it that way. But at the same time, yes, it's our responsibility, because we have to give them the right nurturing. And the best gift we can give to them as part of their growing up is the spiritual assets, because that is something which will serve them for their entire life, not just this life, but for the lives to come as well. God will be pleased with that. But at the same time, have an humility that there's only so much you can control. Right? Tomorrow you should not get upset, why did my kids not do this? There is a possibility. So we should brace up for all the eventualities proactively, rather than thinking everything will be perfect in life. Just because we are becoming satsangis, everybody around us will turn, including our kids. Not necessary. They have their own sanskars.
When you say samskars, is this something that we teach them from their childhood, or is it from their past lives?
Both. Environment has a huge play in it, but they carry things from their past also. Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is saying that if you have done a lot of spiritual sadhana, he will arrange for you to be born in a family where you get introduced to these things early on in life. So something that they have acquired from previous life, which God preserves and gives them early on in life. And something, of course, the environment has a huge play. Where do kids go wrong? The first thing, like Swamiji says, right? If somebody is complaining about their kid, he says, go and check their association. The Sangh is the most dangerous thing. Kusang, one word of Kusang can actually derail your life. That is how dangerous Kusang is. So not only do satsang, but to protect ourselves from Kusang is equally important. And that is why we need to be friendly with them and at least hope they are sharing what's happening in their life, introduce them to good practices early on, and then hope for the best. But both play a role. Some sanskars, because of their choices they make in this life and because of their environment, some they carry from the previous lifetime, because of which some things are very natural to them to believe in or to practice in.
Because both myself and my husband, we have been brought up in a very religious and different kind of background. But in this country, I don't know whether we missed the boat or it didn't happen to the kids.
Don't worry about that.
So that's what I keep thinking about. But now I will leave it up to
get them into Balmukund or any program. There are so many online programs and others. I mean, if introduced to them Vedic philosophy and some of the stuff, and family discussions, I think those things help kids.
Yeah, I wish I could, but they are like older, 20 and 21 actually. When Swamiji was here, when Swamiji stayed at my place for a day, I mean, even Swamiji asked them, like, do you want to talk to me and do you have any questions? They just superficially they talk, but not, really deep. So it is little difficult when they are older.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Thank you, Nitinji.
Thank you, Aparna ji.
Thank you, Aparna ji. Yeah. Okay, so Swati ji, you're planning to sing today. These are the hands raised for the devotional segment because we are.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. No, I wanted to say something regarding this questions only, what discussion is going on.
Sure, real
Is
quick,
it
we
okay?
can wrap up this
I'll be,
discussion.
yeah, I'll not take more time. Yeah, what Shyamji said, we should tell others also and get them all the spiritual path. But it's not possible actually. When we force them, no, then they do nama prat. Like they say something bad about that what we are doing, and even for Swamiji or for God. So instead of we are making them better, we are making them worse to let them do pap. So instead of that, better they are not saying anything. So let them be on their path. And like yesterday only when I was doing for this seva, no, I called someone for this donation part. And then she also started that what you're doing all this is not that, you don't know where the money goes, it doesn't go in the account, it will not reach there. So I was like, instead of telling them this all, we should leave them on their way. So I didn't interrupt her or I didn't say anything more. I said, no, it's not that what you're thinking. It's not correct. Whatever it is this we are doing, it's already in the going through the proper channel. And I tried to explain, but she was like against that. So I stopped there only. No, not to make her more in that path. She was telling whatever she was telling, it was going in the path field only. No. So I stopped her there. It's okay. You, whatever you want to think, you think. I'll be thinking whatever I'm thinking. So it will not disturb my spiritual growth or my spiritual, because it was for 1 minute, I was also started thinking like, it's like Kusam only. Hearing from her, I also started, so for 1 minute, then I said, no, I don't want to listen. My Hari Guru is, whatever he said is correct. I'll stick to my Hari Guru and not listen to her. And then she let her on her own way. God will take care of her. Thank you, Radhe.
Thank you for sharing that, Swati. It's a very important point because when you get into discussions, people, if they are on an ego ride, they want to prove you wrong, then they will become negative. And when they have negative sentiments towards a saint, it is bad for their journey. So rather than doing any good for them, you are making them worse. Because if they think negative towards a saint, it is called a spiritual transgression, which is pretty serious. So it can take them long back in their spiritual journey. So it's better to stay silent as opposed to getting into discussions around these topics, because it may have a counterproductive effect. Thank you for sharing that, Swatiji. Yes, Manishji, you wanted to add something?
Yes, Radhe Radhe Manishji, please go.
Radhe Radhe, Pallavi, Radhe Radhe everyone. Yeah, so I was going to add to what Aparnaji was saying, because my kids are older too. And I had asked this question in one of the SMX sessions to Swamiji. And he said, you should look at yourself as a caretaker of your kids, and not, and also try to teach them spirituality. But after a certain time, if they, you can try to make them understand, but if they don't understand, don't force them to do anything, because they're gonna follow their own path and make their own mistakes and learn from, especially if they're older, they're not gonna listen unless, so that's what, just want to share that. Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you, Manishi. Yeah, Swamiji said that kids, the thumb rule is for the first 5 years, treat them with a lot of love. Okay, for some kids, it can go up to 7 years also. Okay, our ones is the little one with he throws tantrums. So he said for some 7 years is okay. After that, so first 5-6 years, velvet gloves, then velvet and iron gloves. You need to start reprimanding them, telling them there are consequences if you do this, this is good, this is bad. And then you start teaching them. After 12 or 13 years, now the arrow is released. Now you wait and watch. Whatever you could do, be done. Now they will tell you what they need to do. Now you have to just let them see what they are doing, because it's pointless beyond that point, because they'll hang that big board in front of their room, no admission without permission. And then, kind of, they say there are 3 stages in every kid's life. First stage is they say, you know what, my papa or my mama is like this. They will brag about it. The second stage is they say, mom, dad, you don't know anything. And the third stage is when they tell, my mom and my dad used to say that. So to transition to that stage, it can take a while for kids, but we can only hope for the best by giving them the right foundation, and rest we have to leave it to God's hands and their own sanskar. So yes, Urvi, you wanted to share something? Urvi has not gone through any of those stages, so she's all sorted out.
I just raised my hand for the devotional segment.
Devotional segment. All right. So in that case, you are in a queue, and Sandhya ji is ahead of you in the queue today. Okay, because it is height wise. So Sandhya ji, please go ahead. I know yesterday we couldn't sing, so we are waiting to hear you sing today, and then Urvi, and then anybody. Sunita ji, are you going to sing as well? I don't see your mic, so you can bring that in if you are preparing yourself. And Seema ji, Akka Laddu, are you going to sing as well? Not today, Pallavi ji. Okay, let's see. Maybe a few more will come up. They'll get inspired. Go ahead, Sandhya ji, all yours.
Sandhya ji, go ahead. Let's start with Urvi then.
Okay, let's start with. Oh no, Sandhya ji has to be unmuted.
Yeah.
Small
I
technical
think
problem.
I unmuted
It
her.
was a small technical problem that she was on mute. Please go ahead, Sandhya ji.
Yeah, that's what I was
Sandhya
trying to do here, but it's not happening. Thank you.
Okay, it
Radhe
has
Radhe.
happened now.
Yeah. Vitala, Hari Vitala. 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 Panduranga Vitale, Hari Narayan. Panduranga Vitale, Hari Narayan. Purandhara Vitale, Hari Narayan. Purandhara Vitale, Hari Narayan. Hari Narayan, Bhajo Narayan. Hari Narayan, Bhajo Narayan. Sai Narayan, Satya Narayan. Sai Narayan, Satya Narayan. Vitala, Hari Vitala. Vitala, Hari Vitala. Vitala, Hari Vitala. Panduranga Vitale, Hari Narayan. Purandara Vitale, Hari Narayan. Hari Narayan, Bhajo Narayan. Hari Narayan, Bhajo Narayan. Sai Narayan, Satya Narayan. Vitala, Hari Vitala. Vitala, Hari Vitala. Vitala, Hari Vitala. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sandhya ji. Beautiful.
Thank
You
so
are a
much.
trained singer. We can see that.
Come on.
Very
Thank you.
beautifully sung. I think Vitthal Maharaj ji, his God's basically he's worshipped in Maharashtra, right? Mostly,
I
or
think so. I think so. I'm not sure.
yeah,
though.
Vitthal.
Yeah.
Shivaji used to worship Vitthal Maharaj. Very nice, beautifully sung. Loved it.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much.
much.
Thank you.
It's a great way, actually, reciting God's names like that. So loved it. You should sing more often. Thank you very much.
Sure. Pleasure. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Sandhya ji. Very melodious, very beautiful bhajan rendition. Thank you so much.
Yes, and you get a heart for that. Very nice. Thank
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you.
you. Loved it. Thank you, Sandhya ji. Okay, who's next in line then?
Urvi ji, Radhe Radhe. Please go
Urvi
ahead.
ji. Go ahead, Urvi.
Radhe Radhe. So I'll sing last part of a Guru Stuti I heard yesterday, and I just love it.
Sure.
धनी गुरुवर धाम निवास सुनो मन पुण्यन पुंज सो पाइए जो बनी दीन प्रपन्न रहो गुरु के नित सेवा सौताही रे जाइए जो मन ते हरि को गुरु को सुमिरो रसना सौ सदा गुण गाइए जो क्षण भंगुर जीवन जानी मना क्षण हूँ जानी व्यर्थ गवाइए जो सब धामन वारो वृंदावन पे और वृंदावन गुरु धाम पे वारो जो गुरु के पद प्रीति जुड़ी तो भजो चलो आवे गो ब्रह्म विचारो है हरि निर्मल भक्तन को गुरु है अधमो को उदाहरण हारो और न को गुरु हो या न हो गुरु मेरो कृपालु सुभाग हमारो और न को गुरु हो या न हो गुरु मेरो कृपालु सुभाग हमारो। राधे राधे।
Very nice, Urvi. You know what? I'm convinced now that Krishna has left a gopi behind here for daily wisdom sessions. Okay. So, pleasure to have you. Or maybe he forgot to take you to Golok, okay, and he left you for our sessions so that we can continue to get inspired. Beautiful. Loved it. And a lot of people would vote for that. If I put it at a poll, everybody would vote for that. Very nice. Loved it. Thank you so much, Urvi. And it's a beautiful prayer for Guru.
Thank you so much, Urvi. Very inspiring, very melodious.
Radhe Radhe. Very nice.
Should we take Keshav ji first? And
Sure. Yes, Keshav ji. Radhe Radhe. Love to hear you sing as well.
Radhe Radhe.
राधे राधे।
Radhe Radhe.
ना तो मैं गायक हूँ, म्यूजिक का तो मुझे सारे गामा पा भी नहीं आता, सच्चा बोलूं तो सिर्फ भगवत गीता में सरेंडर किया हुआ है 20 साल से। तो एक वो था भजन या जो भी कहें उसको, बड़ी देर भई नंद लाला तेरी राह तके ब्रिज बाला, बड़ी देर भई नंद लाला तेरी राह तके ब्रिज बाला। और जो आपके आया, बड़ी देर भई ब्रज बाला तेरी राह तके नंद लाला, बड़ी देर भई ब्रज बाला तेरी राह तके नंद लाला। राधे राधे।
Keshav ji, that was so amazing. आपको सारे गामा पास से बहुत आगे आगे तक आता है. You should loved it. Very bhavpurn, and I think the Krishna basically and Brajbala, both their feeling is mutual, and you know articulated it beautifully by singing it so beautifully. Thank you so much for that. Loved it. So ek aur heart for the day for Keshav ji, and thank you so much for that. Okay.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, Keshav ji. Very beautiful singing.
And now we have Sunita ji.
Yeah, last
all
but
yours,
not the least. Yeah, Sunita
all
ji.
yours with your mic.
Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
So let me put Nitinji's favorite mic.
See, Maya, mic things are not bad. When it is mic in Sunita ji's hand, it is good. So please go.
And it is exclusively reserved for bhajan.
Yes, yes, yes. Very nice. Please go
Today,
ahead.
I don't want to take much time of all of you. I just want to sing a short, sweet little bhajan, which is
Sure.
from movie Tere Naam.
Okay, sure.
Most probably all of you have heard it.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. मन बसिया ओ कान्हा रंग रसिया ओ कान्हा पवन प्रभाती जग को जगाती भंवरे भी करते हैं गुंजन पंख पसारे उड़े पखेरु सिंदूरी सिंदूरी आंगन मंगल मंगल बेला मंगल सौरभ सौरभ सारा भुवन इन चरणों में फूल चढ़ाने आई तेरी दासी मोहन मन बसिया ओ कान्हा रंग रसिया ओ कान्हा मैं बावरिया सुध बुध भूली मुझको लागी तेरी लगन तेरे द्वार सांझ सकारे तेरा नाम जपे मेरा मन जो है मेरा सब है तेरा तुझ पे ही ये जीवन अर्पण इन चरणों में फूल चढ़ाने आई तेरी दासी मोहन मन बसिया ओ कान्हा रंग रसिया ओ कान्हा थैंक यू राधे राधे
Sunita ji, wonderful. You have it memorized by heart. I can see that. Beautiful. In fact, Tere Naam, I'd seen that movie. It only reminded me of Salman Khan with the long hair, but now I can look at that movie with a different perspective, you know. Very beautiful bhajan. I'm going to look it up in YouTube now. Thank you so much. Loved it.
Thank you.
Anybody who wants to say anything? I'm just going to share heart. Another heart, and it was a beautiful, beautiful way to end the session. Loved it. Thank you so much, Sunita ji. Always a pleasure. So the bliss of devotion is increasing by the day, which is good sign. I know we have gone way over today, and I hope you enjoyed the session. I thoroughly did, I must say that, like I all sessions, and thank you so much for your participation and all the beautiful bhajans that you bring to these sessions. So loved it.
Yeah, it's amazing. It took us to a different place. It looks like it was very, very melodious, Sunita ji.
Loved it.
Shyam ji wants to say something.
Say or sing something.
Do you want to sing something?
राधे
Radhe
राधे
Radhe Shyam
से
ji.
समथिंग नितिन भाई मुझे बोलना है कुछ गाना तो मैं गा लूंगा कभी भी बट मैं ये कहना चाह रहा था हिंदी में बोलूंगा जिस प्रकार से सुनीता जी आजकल गा रही है मैं भी सोच रहा हूँ कि मैं भी एक माइक खरीद लूं तो शायद क्या मतलब मैं भी इनके आसपास कहीं पहुंच जाऊं
माइक का कमाल है
सब माइक का कमाल है
just kidding but it's really inspiring to listen to her right now मतलब I also think कृष्णा ना बहुत स्मार्ट है भाई मतलब उनसे कुछ मुझे करना पड़ेगा अलग ही बातचीत only he knows what he wants and he only knows where to shower his grace it's all because of Krishna जैसे आज केशव जी कह रहे थे कि he does not know सारेगामा I think that I not think I am sure कि हमें कृष्णा के लिए we don't need सारेगामा you only need to know K that's it and we are there done deal so saregama is all nonsense bakwas when you are in God's awe you are he only knows what to say how to say through people like Urvi Sunita ji and whoever we are here he's the best judge he's the best mentor he's the best guru best God we can ever have राधे राधे माइक तो एक बहाना है मतलब एक खरीदने का मेरे पास बट I will buy for sure राधे राधे
Very true. राधे राधे, सही बात है. कृष्णा अपनी ग्रेस से ही कैन, वो है ना श्लोका मूकम करोति वाचालम पंगुम लंघयते गिरिम. So even if we get a drop of his grace, he can make us do miraculous things, right? And yes, you get a mic, and who knows, Shyamji, you might be singing not just with the mic but with the harmonium as well. I can already see you doing that,
I'm
and
trying
you
to.
will be a great substitute for Anup Jalota. I'm telling you, you can sing those bhajans, and we'll look forward to that in one of the sessions.
No, on a serious note, I used to sing. I'm not here with you. I used to sing Gurbani in Gurdwaras.
तो
My
आप
Dada
कोशिश
Chacha was
कीजिए,
a great singer.
आप
So I
कोशिश
used to
कीजिए.
sing bhajans when I was in class 6, 7, 8. Then he passed away. I lost track of harmonium tabla. But I see my son now, he's playing piano for last 5 years. So I've told him that for one of the sessions, we have to play piano with I will sing. However, sing, that's I don't care that. But
So do one thing, you start practicing and use your wife as a guinea pig, okay? And then come over on the sessions. You can get your little one as well, and we will relish your bhajan, I'm telling you. Please do come over. I think the next level for our bhajans now is to bring our percussions and do it like a group. I think we can do it in one of the sessions. So
I love playing drums, and I do not know, somehow whenever people sing around here, my hand goes on the table and I play. Trust me, मतलब आजकल मैं I can tell you that कि I do not listen to any songs. I listen once and I'm bored of it. ऐसे मैंने पहले भी कहा था कि मैं आजकल I only listen to Krishna songs, and my YouTube is so smart, you know, as you all know that they only provoke you with a similar genre. So nowadays my YouTube is only provoking me with this Krishna bhajans. कहाँ से आते हैं, कब आते हैं, कैसे आते हैं, I do not know, but I only into this bhajans, and I can listen to those bhajans, those songs, those melodies day in day out. I can listen to same song the entire day, and I don't get bored. But people around me, they बोलते हैं तू क्या सुन रहा है, ये रो रहे हैं, गा रहे हैं. मैं कहता हूँ यार, it's okay. You will not know that. वो रो रहे हैं, गा रहे हैं. I even do not know वो क्या कर रहे हैं, but my mind and my heart only listens to those two names. That's it. Radhe Krishna. That's it. मैं बोलता रहूँगा, but ठीक है.
it actually goes back to what we discussed today. When you start getting the higher res, you will start rejecting the lower res, and it is automatically, organically happening. You should actually feel good and about it. Wonderful. Keep it up. And we have Seema Singh, who's going to have the last word for the day today. Go
Seema
ahead.
ji. Yeah, Radhe Radhe, Seema ji.
Radhe Radhe. Pallavi ji, Radhe Radhe, Nitin Bhaiya. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I just want to recite something. Not recite, but it's not a shlok. It's a doha from Kabir. And this is from all of us to our Swami ji. So I won't take more than 20 seconds. So, okay. So it's like, I'll start. गुरु गोविंद दो खड़े काके लागू पाए गुरु गोविंद दो खड़े काके लागू पाए बलिहारी गुरु आपने गोविंद दियो बताए कबीरा गोविंद दियो बताए. Thank you.
Beautiful, Seema. Very nice. You know, two people will be proud of you today. Two people. One is Manoranjan ji.
Yes.
And second is your music teacher, who never had belief in you. Okay. So very nicely sung and loved it.
Thank you, Bhaiya. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Loved it. Thank you for.
I also never believed on my music teacher, Bhaiya. So
the feeling was mutual.
Thank you, Bhaiya.
Yeah, beautiful
Great.
recitation.
Keep singing and keep bringing your voice to our sessions. It's always a pleasure to hear you.
Thank you, Bhaiya. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. See, if we don't end today's session, we'll not be able to begin tomorrow's session.
Correct.
So, yes, Keshav ji, real quick, if you wanted to say something.
Keshav ji, Radhe Radhe.
Sorry.
Please. Vahe Guru. मैं आजकल ना कहते हैं बाल दी खाल निकाल रहा हूँ तो वाह हा पंजाबी ना मात्रा नहीं होंदियां. It is said वाह हा गा रा वाह विष्णु हा हरि गा गोविंद रा राम वाहे गुरु वाहे गुरु वाहे गुरु.
Very nice.
Wow.
Skinning the hair, which is pretty interesting. Bahut acha, very nice. And it's a great segue to end the session today because it has been a pretty outstanding and one of those special sessions, extended sessions that we have had. Now, thank you everybody again and wish you a great rest of your evening and a great rest of your day as well. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we pick up another fascinating topic tomorrow, and I'll see you tomorrow then.
Thank you, Nitinji. Radhe Radhe. For this another awesome session. Thank you everyone for your enthusiastic participation. Stay blessed, stay safe. See you all tomorrow in the session.
See you all tomorrow. Bye.